Welcome to Tables, Ladders, and Bumps, a pro wrestling podcast where we talk about wrestling promotions, AEW and WWE, give tinfoil wrestling theories, and debate pressing topics in the world of wrestling, all under 60 minutes. I'm Wade, joined by Marlon and Pierre. Before we get to it, go ahead and smash that like and subscribe button to get a perspective from our side of the ring. Today's topics of discussion include AEW Wrestle Dream, the hot potato of the IC title, and Jade and Bianca versus Damage
Control.
the babyface Damage Control. Now, I wanted to get started with my topic, which is Wrestle Dream,
Yep.
because I went to Wrestle Dream for that event.
Why not?
And as you can tell, I am supporting Bryan Danielson, who was murdered at the end of Wrestle Dream. If you guys did not follow the PLE, overall, it was a very good pay-per-view. Typical AEW fashion. I was there for like over 5 hours because I showed up when the pre-card started. Honestly, most of the matches were really good. I did have to take a break after I had been there for like 4 hours to go to the bathroom and get another drink. So I did miss Darby Allin versus Brody King and the Young Bucks match, but I did watch it over after. So, I mean, that's kind of my... If you want to see a lot of wrestling, every AEW pay-per-view is awesome. I didn't have to get there right away, but I'm not going to lie. I did want to see Anna Jay versus Harley Cameron, so that's kind of on me. I don't think most of you guys would blame me for wanting to catch that match. But obviously, Jon Moxley defeated Bryan Danielson. We were in Washington, probably about an hour away from Bryan Danielson's hometown. And it was a really cool atmosphere in the back and forth portion when they threw the plastic bag over Bryan Danielson's head and essentially killed him after the match. It was the weirdest vibe I've ever been a part of in a wrestling match because I don't think most people are retiring by basically being killed off. I've never seen that happen before. So that was certainly a choice for Jon Moxley's character. And the whole BCC realignment and everything, I thought it was really well done. Wheeler Yuta being one of the people to be the person who actually put the bag over Danielson's head, I thought was a really good touch. And if you'd watched Dynamite that week, I mean, Yuta was basically on Danielson's side, gets his ass beat, and Danielson's like wins the match and is doing the yes chant while Yuta's like on the ground trying to grab for Danielson for help. So I kind of saw that his demise was coming at the hands of Wheeler Yuta, but I was kind of holding hope the whole time that maybe he won't get turned on by Wheeler. So, but yeah, my favorite match was probably the Mariah May versus Willow Nightingale match. They have awesome chemistry. The triple threat with Takeshita, Will Ospreay, and Ricochet was amazing.
Oh yeah.
Will Ospreay got pinned by Takeshita, which I did not see coming. So, but yeah, overall, wanted to know your guys' thoughts. I know you guys weren't there with me, but you were there in spirit. And kind of wanted to know your guys' opinions on what you had seen, and kind of like with the fallout from this, do you think AEW is maybe going in a positive direction?
Yeah, I'll go. I definitely feel like AEW has huge momentum, especially the last 4 or 5 months, honestly, since Mania. And I feel like their pay-per-views totally are worth your money. They're bang bang scissor gang. Like they're I was gonna go bang for your buck, bang bang scissor gang for your buck. But I feel that this last one, based on the highlights and a few of the match segments that I watched, this was the one to be at. If you were going to spend 4 or 5 hours inside a wrestling venue watching solid wrestling, this was it. I saw the Willow Nightingale Mariah May match. Really good. I saw clips from the snuff film, the Danielson match at the end. Um, that was amazing. And usually it's a pink slip that retires somebody, but they had to go with plastic bag. Uh, which is fine because Danielson is all about carbon emissions. So they were just releasing less carbon by keeping his breath inside that bag, right?
He
That's
also
the way
hates
to go.
plastic bags. He's been
But
quoted as saying he hates
okay,
plastic bags.
so
So killing him with that.
it yeah,
Irony.
they cancel each other out at minimum, but fewer carbon emissions. Maybe that bag was already made before this plan to do him out like that was. So priority goes to the bag. But yeah, another banger from Bird's Eye View for AEW on their pay per view. What about you, Pierre?
Um, I think yeah, they definitely are heading in the right direction, especially with. I know we didn't get to really cover the deal, but for
Yeah.
me, it's major because if I'm understanding correctly, all their pay-per-views now should stream on Max, correct? Or
You have to pay still. It's a discount that it's kind of like I think it's supposed to be a significant discount, to be
okay,
honest. So they were $50
yeah,
and I think it's supposed to be like maybe 20. I've it's not changing until the new year,
okay,
but they're supposed to have restreaming and stuff on Max and like so they're getting a lot more exposure.
okay. I mean, even still, like, because I haven't paid for a pay-per-view event in such a long time. I mean, I have seen a couple of AEW ones, but dude, I got so used to WWE Network and paying that strict like $9.99 a month to catch everything. So now I was like, man, with them being on Max, I'm like, oh man, that's great. I get to see more at a lower price. And so that's cool. So I think that's a plus for them just in general. And it allows people, yeah, you got diehard fans that are willing to pay whatever they pay. But then you have people that maybe they can't afford to pay or whatever the case may be, or they're not interested in paying because they're not too sure about AEW, or they might just be tribalist fans. And now you go to Max and like, oh man, what's happening on Max this weekend? On weekend is AEW, whatever pay per view it is. And you're like, oh man, maybe I got that amount to spare now. I can go check it out. And it's like now you get hip to AEW in a different fashion that maybe you wouldn't been opposed to before. As far as like the Wrestle Dream, I saw some of these clips. Like you started talking about Will Ospreay, Ricochet, and Connection. That was cool. Um, I'm interested in this whole Hurt Business 2.0, if you
Yeah,
want to
Oh
call it,
yeah.
Swerve's
and
return
Swerve,
too.
you know. So that's cool. And where in WWE, the Hurt Business felt like maybe they really didn't get the just due. Talk about like proper booking, you know. Uh, I'm kind of hyped to see what they can do over AEW, you know. And so that's look promising for me. So I'm kind of looking forward to that.
I uh, I think we could say I mean we had the I think we'd all agree they probably book like black talent better on AEW. I think we could
Mhm.
probably agree to that
I think they get to be
easily.
black on AEW.
Yeah, they get to like portray like
Yeah,
actual like not just like oh I'm a super jacked black guy that's like
Black Bill Goldberg.
yeah I'm Black Goldberg or yeah Black Rock Lesnar. So I and they didn't even I was expecting Bobby Lashley to come out
Mm.
Yeah,
and
that's what also too.
they're saving that because they I had read they were going to have him come out and they're like no we got enough like reveals and stuff for this pay-per-view we're just going to save it which I think is actually smart because like there was just so much like you were like oversaturated with like
Mhm.
MJF came back Adam Cole came back after over a year injury and is somehow a babyface even though he was
Yeah,
the devil last year.
you got to
That
explain that because is there any explanation at all?
yeah, they try to explain it on Dynamite today. Adam Cole did because I watched a little bit of Dynamite before we came on, and essentially he's like, I had to become a devil to fight the devil, type of thing. Which
Okay.
I thought his promo was really good, and I'm not the biggest Adam Cole fan. I was like kind of getting hyped for their feud, but
Mhm.
and in the crowd, everyone was so hyped because he's been hurt for a while, and everyone's cheering. And I was like the only person. I'm like, is anyone else annoyed? I said this in the stands that he's now a baby face, even though he
Right.
was the main heel storyline, like like the last half of last year, and like turned MJF this way, and everyone's like, well, we like Adam Cole. I'm like, all right, whatever. I guess I'll just be over by myself. So yeah, I also find it annoying, but I'm in the minority there. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, you guys have anything else?
No, I'm good. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm good with everything. You up
But
next,
if
Marlon?
yeah, what do you got, Marlon?
So last night on NXT, Stephanie Vaquer made her in-ring debut, and I'm wondering if any of you guys saw it and what you thought about it. Just one thing that I noted is that she looked good and dominant and had all that experience in her eyes and in her actions. But what about you guys? What did you guys see?
Go ahead, Wade.
Marlon, with your pause, I thought you were gonna like bite your lip when you did the like. She looked. I thought you were gonna like do some weird. I was like, bro, chill out. No, I thought she looked really good. I've seen her wrestle in person before, and she's unreal. Like in person, I saw her wrestle like 2 or 3 times this past year. She's really
Mhm.
good. She's like a really good at leading. You figure I'm assuming Ren Sinclair probably doesn't know isn't fluent in Spanish. So the fact that and I know that she knows some English, but she's not. You mean Stephanie Vecker's not fluent in English by any means, I would say at this point. So her just leading the match, I thought was good, and they gave them a lot to kind of work with. And I'm a big Ren Sinclair fan, so seeing her get that opportunity to go against Stephanie Vaquer, and like I've seen some people are like, well, of course you're going to look good against her. Well, not necessarily if there's a language barrier. A
Hmm.
lot of like really green people would not
Yep.
look, potentially look good, but Stephanie Vaquer has been everything that Julia has not been since
Yep.
going to NXT. And I thought the whole time I like Julia, but I Stephanie Vaquer is the real star, and I've seen her put on matches with people all over the world, banger matches, and I just think she translates better to WWE than Julia
Julia.
personally.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, like so, I saw like some stuff leading up to the match, like her coming to the arena, and you're seeing that they booking her as like a star in the making, if not already a star. So that's cool to see. I heard some commentary that they said like, man, she takes like bumps real great, and that was a good thing to see from her in the like in her first match. They kind of see her just kind of have that flow already. As someone who really doesn't know too much about her, I guess I would like to ask you guys if we don't go too much over time with it, like what is it about her that makes her have it?
Oh, so well, I'm one her whole pack, like just how she looks, like like the when people say aura all the time, she like
Hmm.
legit has aura to a level. I think people talk about Jacob Fatu having it. I say Stephanie Vaquer has more than him just naturally. Like just you see her walk out, you're like, whoa, like that's she's a star. Um, the way she could construct matches, they're like really well thought out. Every time I've seen her wrestle, everything kind of flows and makes sense. It's not um disconjointed, and I've seen her wrestle people from Japan, people from Mexico, people from the US. Her match with Mercedes Monet, if you haven't seen it, is
Hmm.
like that's the match. If you
Hmm.
want to watch one match of her, I think that shows she I like Mercedes. People have been hating. People always hate on her. That she outshined Mercedes, but I think some of it is Mercedes was, you mean, cool with the match looking that way too. Uh, but everything is crisp. It looks like it hurts. She has distinct moves too. Her
Hmm.
finisher is really sick. She has this move where she basically is slamming her booty onto the person's head and then it's slamming onto the mat, which I haven't
Hmm.
really seen too much. But it's just as like you're like, oh dang, she's like slamming the donk onto the like basically giving the person CTE with
Oh,
their
yeah, it fixed
yeah with
Native's
yeah, like it's like a cool because it's like her butt's hitting their head and then it's bouncing on the mat over and over. Um, so yeah, just yeah, she has everything. There's not a single thing that I've seen that I mean maybe her on on her mic work, but I've seen
Mhm.
when she does promos in Spanish and it's awesome. So I think she just needs to get more comfortable with English.
Okay.
Yeah, her pageantry is amazing. I'm not a big fan of the supernatural stuff typically in WWE, but the way she does it, if it's fine, it works. And the fact that she could, as Wade said, direct a match and take control of it, that's totally noteworthy, and especially in a new environment in NXT, not only just WWE, but like their developmental. And you just saw the experience that she carried in that ring. And I'll give Ren Sinclair the credit. It could have gone a lot worse, but Ren Sinclair, in her experience, held pretty well and showed out with Stephanie. Now, my one other critique is the compare and contrast, as Wade had mentioned, that this presentation in NXT and WWE definitely is better, different than Julia's debut, unfortunately. I feel like they may have fumbled Julia's debut. And
Mm,
what?
I think it's Julia fumbled Julia's debut. It's not
Sure.
they gave her the opportunities and she hasn't looked good.
Right. Okay.
So I think it's that's all on Julia because
Okay.
they even gave Julia a head start and then she comes in and is like we're like I don't care about you. I want to see Stephanie Vaquer and it's not like in this situation I'm just gonna be blunt. It's not like Stephanie Vaquer is way hotter than Julia. Both of them are gorgeous. So it's not like you have like a you mean one girl that's like not attractive and the other one is and it's like oh like yeah we look people are going to gravitate towards the hot one. It's not like I don't see it as like
Right.
that. It's legit.
Skill set and
One
executing.
Julia's just like tripped and fall. Like there's been a bunch of like everything's gone bad.
Right.
So I yeah I've and I like Julia, but
Yeah, same. I hope there's some type of redemption arc for her as far as like a work or a spot that totally gets her over or at least level to where she's supposed to be by this
yeah
point. But that's it on Stephanie Vaquer. Kudos to her in-ring debut. Kudos to Ren, uh, playing along with it and doing the job. And hope to see more from both Stephanie and Julia.
yeah and Pierre, what do you got for us for your
So I wanted to cover my what's popping was the tag team match between JD and Bianca versus Damage Control. Um, Going into the match, I was disappointed because I wanted them to do more with Jaden and Io Scott. And I felt like they missed the opportunity to do that again because that was such a great match, that one-on-one match. And I felt they could have ran that back when they could have got more match. We still could, you
oh
know.
Bianca and Io?
Bianca and Io.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
You said
what I
Jade.
said.
You said
Oh yeah,
Jay, which I was like I don't think any of us want to see that, but yeah, no, you're good.
no, my bad. So no, Bianca and Io Scott.
Okay.
So I disappointed that they didn't run that back again. You know, I thought that could have been something where we could have had an Andrade versus Melo type of situation, right? You know, at least for the women, especially when the women's booking has been so terrible on Raw, and you really don't get good quality matches or great quality matches. And we had got one, you know, and I think everyone was happy about that. So we get this tag team match, and once again, Damage Control is Damage Control. You know, like they show out, they come and do their part, and they go home. You know, and it sucks that they took a loss because I almost might have rather to see them become tag team champions. You know, just because they're just having great matches, and maybe this whole feud between Damage Control, Bianca and Jade, and now you interject the Meta Girls, Last Legend, and Jakari Jackson, and maybe that's just to help them out and get them more exposure, which is cool and it's understandable. But I guess I just wanted to see what you guys' opinions and takes were, and if you guys felt like maybe this was rushed between Damage Control and Jade and Bianca.
You can go
Go
ahead,
ahead, Wade.
Marlon.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah. I'll
Go ahead.
my turn. I thought the match was good, and I figured this is just how Raw was going and how they've kind of cut stuff. I thought there's probably going to be a stupid finish. I just had a feeling they were going to do something. I'm Since it was the metaphor doing it, and I like Lash and Jakara a lot. I think it's good experience for them. EO and Damage Control is going against them next week at
Okay.
NXT. So, I mean, that'll be good for them to get that payoff, and they're gonna those girls will get that rub. I feel like a majority of the crowd or people agree with you that they wanted Damage Control to win. Uh, and part of it, I think it's twofold. One, Damage Control looks awesome as a tag team with those two girls,
Mm-hmm.
and then two, I think all of us are kind of over the Jade and Bianca tag team and just want them to break up and have a match. Like
Yeah.
that's how I and Marlon knows. Like I was kind of a Bianca hater, like
Yeah.
most of her
I mean,
title reign,
Yeah, me too.
and I'm just like, dude, I want to see her wrestle singles matches again. Like
yeah.
I took her so for granted. It's a lot of it was how they wrote her character, and now like she's got a little bit more sassiness and it's not at to where she was in NXT, but it's not the you mean Jane Cena type thing. So
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm liking her character a lot more, and I'm just kind of over Jade Cargill altogether. So, but I may be labeled as a hater for. I don't even dislike Jade. I feel like she's taken away from Bianca.
Yeah. Yeah, much to that. I was more impressed by some of the spots in this match. The pop-up insane elbow. That
That
was
was
really
sick.
cool. The
Yeah.
multiple springboard drop kick, springboard moonsault, onto Jade and Bianca outside the ring. Even the missed moonsault, that was really cool. And I also liked the suplex into the KOD. Just
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that was sick.
the best parts about this match, honestly, were between Bianca
Yeah.
and Io. Those are the best parts about this match. And kudos to the Meta Girls for showing out on SmackDown and Raw and just doing their role and executing very well. So I like those girls. I actually like the metaphor. I like Noam Dar.
Oh yeah, I like him a lot too. No,
Super entertaining.
they all have those it's impressive. It's something to come on to the regular Raw or SmackDown and have a presence and be able to do your character because that's got to be nerve-wracking.
Hmm.
So
Mm.
like it's one thing doing it on NXT where
Right.
there's 50 people in the crowd or I mean what is there 150 in that
Probably.
performance center, and then you go to this where there's minimum 6,000 like every single show. That's
Hmm.
got to be wild. So
Right.
I
Yeah.
found that really impressive.
Yeah. So I did like the match. The tag team, like if somebody said, I forgot where I heard it, but if they could have either the Meta Girls and Jade and Bianca as like ongoing rivalry or eventually become a stable, I think that'd be pretty cool where they just dominate the division.
They could just put people in stables that aren't always the same race too. Is also another idea. You know what I mean? Like mix it up a little bit, like Judgment
Yeah.
Day, something. I
Technically,
think it's kind of weird.
I
Looks
don't
like
think
gang
let
wars when they do it. You know what I mean? You put like all the white people together,
yeah,
and you
the
put all like
Italians.
Italians together. I'm like, what are we doing here? It's like really weird.
I
Um,
thought I read somewhere that Joaquin Wild isn't even Latino. He's Filipino
he
and
is,
Caucasian. Yeah.
yeah.
That's why he's
Well, I
never
mean,
speaking Spanish.
yeah, he's part of Latino World Order though, so I think that's like it's Not like a random white guy in Latino World Order, but yeah.
He's just tan.
You
I mean,
just
hey, they had
you
Sammy in
put
the
Finn
Bloodline.
Balor in there. Finn Balor in there.
I think he's
That'd be
married
great.
to a Latina, so he might
He
be in there
is.
by honoree. So
Yeah.
anyway, I love the match. It was entertaining to me. Probably the best match of the night.
Would you
So
guys
that was yeah.
prefer Bianca versus Io though versus in the
Oh
tag team
yeah,
match?
I think we
Absolutely.
yeah, that's like that. That was like one of the best women's matches of the year. That was really
Yeah.
good. Particularly in like North America. Yeah, that was an awesome match. Yeah, I'd like to see that more, but with an hour getting cut off Raw, there ain't no way that's
Yeah,
happening
that's
before the Rumble. That could be
yeah.
a post Rumble thing, but they're probably going to be doing Jade and
Jade and
Bianca.
Bianca.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. All right. Well, guys, that was our what's poppin'. Uh, like, subscribe. Let us know what you thought. Did you guys watch Wrestle Dream? Do you think Jade and Bianca need to just be on 30-minute matches every single Raw? Let us know in the comments below. Next is our 3 count. And Pierre, what do you got for us?
So I
Sorry.
wanted to talk about uh, just the kind of the hot potato game that we're kind of playing with the IC title. It feels like,
Mm.
um, and I know we're not really gonna. We probably won't be getting any more super long title reigns. It won't be any more 660 days of title reigns, like anything like that, probably. But Sami Zayn had the title. He had, I want to say, 2 matches for the championship. With defending the title, both against Braun Breaker. Won one, then lost one. Braun defended the title twice. Well, had 2 matches. Um, one against Sami Zayn. It was a 2 out of 3 falls, and then he had one against Jey Uso. He lost. Jey Uso had beat Xavier Woods, and it looked like he's going against Braun Breaker again Monday. And it all kind of feels like he's going to lose again Monday. I can't see Braun Breaker losing again, but we'll see. Um, how do you guys feel about that? Does it hurt the title? Is it okay for the title? Does it help build up other superstars and kind of make the title mean something because these guys are fighting over it like that and it's back and forth? So, what are you guys' kind of thoughts and opinions on hot potato for the title?
Sammy had all that stuff with Chad Gable we forgot about.
Hmm.
That's who he went. He's had actually a decent amount because
Hmm.
I pulled up his cage match because I was
Okay.
like, I'm like, I swear I couldn't even remember it either though. I like it was seems so long ago. I'm like, who else did he go? He had that like that was like over a month, right? With Chad Gable, where he
Hmm.
had that feud with him. Chad
Oh,
lost
yeah.
to him.
Okay. I remember
Uh,
now.
so yeah, because
Because
Sammy
I remember now.
Yeah, and they had that triple threat with Bronson Reed that was actually really
Yeah.
good. He beat Ilya Dragunov for
Stupid.
at one point. Yeah, I mean that sucks that he's hurt. But he did defend it more than we thought. At first I was like, "Oh, he had like 16 defenses, but they were in a house show, so those don't count." But I think he had about 6 or 7. Which
Okay.
is he
Typical.
had it
Okay.
I think he had it for like 3 months, 4 months. That's not bad, I don't think. Like that's
Okay.
somewhat the Braun Breaker having it, and then that I do see as a hot potato because I don't see Jay having it
Hmm.
particularly long. But Gunther's like over a year. What is that? Almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we could do for some hot potatoing with like some good people. I'm cool with it as long as it's not doesn't continue like that for a year. I'm
Hmm.
cool if
Hmm.
it's shorter reigns, and I don't know if I would have rather had Chad Gable win it than Braun Breaker personally. I don't think
Hmm.
he was necessarily particularly
I don't
ready
think he
for
needed it
it.
right
No, he didn't need it. Like
now. Yeah.
I mean he was over, but I think like people even if he was over because people like barking, I do think people were more into Ilya Dragunov. Like as a whole, like people were you know what I mean? Like I do feel like Ilya Dragunov was winning over the crowd honestly, where they thought he should
Organically.
actually like be winning stuff, not
Hmm.
I mean, this guy's a badass and it looks cool when he spears someone, but his matches are
Hit or
mediocre.
miss.
Yeah, hit or miss. Yeah.
If Ilya Dragunov had a crowd chant, what would it be?
Uh, just doing the do. I don't know. Yeah, what you would do. I do see people do that in the crowd though.
I believe that if what made that belt so prestigious was the person carrying it and how they carried it. So if you have high value male wrestlers going after the belt, even if it is hot potato, I feel like it would hold its worth. So you get high powered mid carders up there who have had skin in the game for a while and also a mix of people who are up and coming superstars. And I think that's okay to have hot potato in short bursts, not hot potato the whole time like it's the freaking 24/7 championship.
Yeah.
So they do have to have a decent title reign, few months. How long did Sammy have it? Like 4 months?
Yeah, about.
Something like that.
But Mania,
So
Mania's a SummerSlam, right? So 4 months, yeah.
That's a good amount, I
that's a good
think.
amount. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
it again, it just depends on who's going for it and who's holding it.
So Karrion Cross, all of us want him to get it next. I'd be pumped.
Ask
He
me
needs
that.
something.
He's getting there, to be honest. Ask me that in about 2 to 3 months. I'll
His
probably give you a
facial
solid
stuff and
answer.
how he acted with R-Truth, I thought was awesome this week, by the way. So I was like, and then now he's gonna get fatality by the Wyatt Six. So um yeah, hey, you got anything else, Pierre, on that?
No. I just want to get you guys' thoughts on that. So no, I kind of agree with that. Hopefully they help it a little bit. Build it up and build some more people in the process, and then they get to that one person, and that one person settles for maybe a good 4 to 6 months with it. I'd be
Mm-hmm.
cool with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you. Marlon, what do you got for your 3 count?
Talking about the road to Survivor Series, the two things that came to mind or had me thinking about this, and I still don't have it fantasy booked in my head yet, was one, the reunion of the Bloodline and how at first I wasn't thinking because Jay won his title that the old Bloodline can reunite so fast, leading to Survivor Series. But I stand corrected on that. I feel like they could turn things around in an instant. And then also the cross branding of the women's division on SmackDown. Again, I don't have any of this laid out in my head, but when Tiffany is in betweener, wanting to turn on Naya, but still needing to be a heel, up against like a bigger heel like Liv Morgan, and then helping out Rhea, and then Rhea, yeah, just there's a lot going on there, and I don't know how they could Avengers Endgame this whole thing for Survivor Series, but those are just things that got me thinking. Like, if you guys were to book Survivor Series, women's division, War Games, and or men's War Games, like, who do you think would be in there? Maybe even Damage Control versus some people. I don't know, but what do y'all think?
Pierre, what do you
So here you
got
go,
for
Sam.
this? All right. I like women's is so difficult to be honest, because what we don't want is the 10 women tag that we
No.
got on Raw, which is the easiest thing, which I don't think they will do. Thank
No.
God. The issue for where you were naming all those people, that's like
Mm-hmm.
literally 6 heels, where
Yep.
you have like,
Yep.
so I don't know what you exactly do there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you have Liv. They better wait to for Tiffany Stratton to cash in because I still have not gotten my briefcase in the mail yet. So you cannot be giving those briefcases if she's already cashed in my opinion. Um, so that makes me think there. I thought, like in theory, they should do one at Survivor Series in that cage. Like I wanted Priest to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So I would love a cash in that way when the person's like basically trapped in there with you too already. It's harder for them to get out and everything. I think that'd be a cool image. Um, so I don't know. I'd be Damage Control's been in it what the last 2 years.
Yeah.
That's like it, yeah.
Yeah, they've been in it the last 2 years. Rhea was in it with Damage Control 2 years ago. I guess they're baby faces now, so that's maybe you have them with Rhea and they fight against all the heels. I don't know who else you add it, and I don't even know.
I know.
Who
It's
would you?
I can't think of a women's war games where people would be alliance
Naomi. I
enough.
guess you could have Bianca, Jade,
Naomi.
Naomi with damage control. That could actually be kind of cool because they've been fighting against each other.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So you have
Then it'd
the.
probably be PFC
Oh no, they're
and
not in that. Ain't no way. You maybe put in Zoe Stark. I'd be
yeah,
cool with drafting Zoe Stark into that. They should do a draft like they do for the
they
NBA
used to do
the whatchamacallit. Um
an All-Star game.
the All-Star game. Like
Yeah,
like have a draft. And then you're like, "All right, you got 30 women. Who do you want on your team?" Uh I and then you pick whatever. Bianca gets to pick and then Liv Morgan gets to pick or something.
yeah.
Hmm.
I'd be cool with that, but they won't do it. So, I don't know. What do you think, Pierre?
Man, like I said, trying to determine the women's war game matches. I don't know, man. Trying to find like a needle in the haystack, right? Because it's just like, who do you put it in there? Will we get tired of seeing kind of the same people being in it each year? You know, uh, I feel like Bianca's been there almost each year too. You know, similar to Damage Control.
EO's been in the most times.
Yeah, you know. Uh, and it's like I would love to see some fresh faces and talent in there, but are the fresh faces and talent ready to be in war games and to put on a good match in war games? You
Yeah.
know. So and then like I say, the women's division seemed to be heavily heel favorite in a way.
Hmm.
Um, the baby faces that are on there don't really compare to the heels. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley outshines all the other heels, but it's just Rhea, really,
Yep.
you know?
Yeah.
Uh, so it's like, man, I don't know. You think about Team Rhea and Team Liv, and it's like, I guess I can kind of figure out who would be on Liv Morgan team, her and Raquel Rodriguez, and you would just say either the Witches or PFC. You know,
I
that's the
go
only I
for the
can kind of think.
witches. The witches would actually be a good choice,
Yeah,
but I also
you know, and but
like
for
Isla
like
Dawn a lot.
Team Rhea, it's like I don't know, who, you know,
Hmm.
uh, and then we get over to the men's, and I think for the longest I've been wanting the Bloodline versus Bloodline, and then it got to a point where it's like, well, are we gonna get the Bloodline versus Bloodline? Are we gonna get like the
Right.
Super Friends versus
We're
the
we're
Bloodline?
getting it.
I think so too.
Yeah. And so then it was like, but you want to think about it, War Game is like still like 8 weeks away. There's
Hmm.
still plenty of time for them to really get into the story. It
Hmm.
wasn't like it's not like it's Crown Jewel coming up November 2nd. You know, we got 3 weeks to
It's
plan, so it's not like seeming like it's rushed. Uh, we saw Jimmy pop up on Monday Night Raw, so we know that's the start of it. You know, and it's like, well, are we getting the OG bloodline? Does Sammy get us involved? And then part of that, I don't know. I'm
Sammy
looking forward
gets
to that.
involved for sure. I think
I'm
Sammy
looking
gets
forward to
involved, and that makes KO go even crazier.
it. No, Sam, I'm looking forward to that. I mean, that's just gonna be the highlight. I think it kind of goes into maybe probably our no hate debate topic in a way, but I'm looking forward to the Bloodline versus Bloodline match. You know, just because just I've just been in the story so much for so long. So, and this is something I've
Hmm.
been looking forward to, me personally.
When we think about, I know we've talked about the booking of the women's division like every week almost, but when we think about this crown jewel belt or whatever for the women's thing, that like there's no real story for this. They just kind of like putting something together that no one cares about. And then like you bring this up, Pierre, about the or Survivor Series. The hell are we like? What is the story going to be for this?
That's what I'm wondering.
Do
Yeah.
we even? We don't want the Judgment Day thing to continue on. I don't think anyone
Mm-mm.
does really.
No.
Uh, we
Yeah,
got some
I'm
problems
curious to
there.
how they could have a cohesive story between now and Survivor Series because There doesn't seem like there's any alliances that would make sense.
Last year it
So
was good, I thought, the women's one.
yeah, everyone gets damage
Yeah.
control, right?
Yeah. So
And that's the thing, you don't have that right now.
No.
no,
As much as they've been trying to make PFC be something, they just
no, they
haven't
ain't.
been that. And maybe that probably was kind of the idea to make them something so they
Oof.
can go into war games, but they haven't been that. They haven't been able to shoot their shot yet. Their shot's been done. So I don't know.
Would we
It
get like
really
a Becky Lynch return teaming with Rhea somehow
that'd be
against
kind of cool.
Liv and Nia?
Bring in Roxanne Perez. I don't know. Like there's stuff you can like
Yeah.
recruit from NXT. I'd be
Yeah.
cool with that. Stephanie Vaquer. Like I'm like
Yeah.
we have all these people on the main roster, and I'm like thinking of NXT people because I don't want to.
I mean, what if they do an NXT takeover like war games?
That
I
would
don't know.
actually be sick. That would I
I
would rather the NXT women's thing. I could honestly see a War Games thing easily
hmm
Yeah,
there, and I cannot in Raw or SmackDown. I don't know what they're doing there.
Yeah.
But if you guys have any ideas of how to book this, please let us know in the comments below. We're at a loss of uh maybe we're I don't know. I don't think we're biased towards this. I think it's just
I
terrible
think we're
booking.
passionate about it, and we're
Yeah, we
disappointed.
yeah, we
You know,
we
really.
want the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, um,
Wait, you got to do yours still.
yep. And mine, I wanted to talk about the PWI women's top 250 list. I'm gonna go through every single one of the 250 right now. No, I just wanted to. All of us have seen the list, and I
Mhm.
would to bring this up not to toot my own horn, but of the top 20, I'd seen 19 of them wrestle in the last year. So I thought, oh, that's probably a
Nice.
good person to bring up the subject. The only one I hadn't seen is Saray because she left Stardom to join Marigold right as I was starting to see more Stardom things. So that's the only one I missed. But to me, this list makes complete sense looking at it.
Name the
I've
top
seen
five real
all
quick.
Tony Storm, Jordan
One.
Grace. Yeah, Tony Storm's number one, which she's like the best story from this whole like
Yeah.
last year. Jordan Grace from TNA, Rhea Ripley, uh, Micah from Stardom, who's awesome, and then Stephanie Vaquer.
Okay.
So that's the top five, and yeah, I think it. Uh, the top 20, you look at it. Lyra made the list, which is cool,
Hmm.
and Roxanne Perez and stuff. So yeah, I thought they did a good job, especially in this top 20. There's good representation of, you mean, all these different organizations and stuff too, not just focusing on
Big
WWE and
promotion.
AEW. It's, you
hmm
mean, they have, I mean, for women's wrestling, you got to have a lot of Japanese wrestlers in there in general from,
Mhm.
but there's a bunch of different organizations in Japan that are great. So I thought it was really good. I've watched, like I said, I've watched virtually all of them wrestle in person, and all of them, like I thought, oh wow, I like would look up because sometimes I don't know, like if I'm seeing a Japanese thing, I'm like, who the heck's this? And then I'm like looking up in the program or whatever, and I'm like, okay, this girl's like legit. Um, so yeah, I thought it made sense. What did you guys think?
I'm all for it. Like I think it's like I say, it's a good representation of women all across just wrestling in general. You know, and can't really argue against Tony Storm being number one. Not only did she have the best story, but also just the best character. Who else has
Yeah,
been
hmm
just a character this whole time in kayfabe in a way? Like that picture. What was she at a wedding or something like that? And
hmm
she
yeah,
black and white
black and
herself.
white.
Like
Yeah,
the commitment to the character, the development of that character. Um, I can't disagree. I can't have a problem with her being number one, but even with say she has some matches that weren't top or whatever. Just like you just put the work in as a character, shows me that you care about the craft and in just that way, more than just doing wrestling moves. But also she can wrestle, she can go. So yeah, I think That's great for her. Jordan Grace getting some shine, TNA down there, that's great for her too. And Rhea's Rip really is her all the time. So ain't no really being three ain't bad on a list like this, you know. And the
Mhm.
last two, I mean, you got Stephanie Vaquer. She's over NXT now, and she's number 5. So can you, if they really do her justice in NXT, maybe next year she could be 2, you know, something like that. So it's
Yeah.
great. It's a great thing, you know.
Yeah. The criteria, I'll read the few criteria that you need to be on this list or what they base it off of. It's
Uh,
they're kayfabe based, right? So
Mhm.
win-loss record is 1, championships 1, quality of competition, major feuds, prominence within a wrestler's promos, and overall wrestling ability. And if you look at the top 5, 10, they fit all of those, or if they hit most of them at least, right? So I
Even
feel,
Athena.
yeah,
Athena, it's just she's in ROH and doesn't always go against but like she had one of the best storylines all last year too, and is an awesome promo. Had 6 sick matches, but yeah, I like the criteria. Do you
me
guys
too.
think that's
yeah, no, it's a legit criteria.
Roman
Yeah.
Reigns didn't make it for the men's one because he didn't wrestle enough matches?
Did they come out with the men's one already?
Yeah, it already came out,
Oh wow.
and a bunch of people were upset because Roman wasn't in there, and he wrestled like 5 matches.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
well,
fair.
dude, yeah, like
That's fair.
you gotta wrestle. I think you had to wrestle at least 10 matches,
Yeah.
which is why Mercedes Monet I don't think is in it
Hmm.
over that time period. So,
Right.
but yeah, I just want to know your guys' opinion. Masha Slamovich is in it. She's number 15. She
Hmm.
was the only women in the men's one, I believe, last year because she wrestled a bunch against men too.
Oh
So that's
wow.
kind of cool thing about her. Because she'll wrestle in GCW against dudes and stuff all the time. So,
Nice.
um, but that's all I got for that. You guys should definitely check out the list, and if you don't know people's names on there, I'm talking to not you, well, you guys too, but definitely check out their matches, especially in the top 20. Um, you will not be disappointed. And I got my no hate just debate topic. Do you have a tinfoil theory, Pierre? Or I saw you getting up.
No, I'm gonna save it. I'm
Okay,
gonna save
okay.
it. I'm gonna save
All right. I thought you were just like maybe crop dusting in the background or something, so I didn't know what you were doing.
it. I went to go get it. I went to go get the hat, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it for next week.
uh,
Don't be upset if WWE reveals your tinfoil theory and exposes you before you put it out there.
No, I'm gonna be mad. Like Sam, like
yeah,
what? Not Sam when he was doing tenfold theories, lighting our style.
yeah. He
What
definitely saw
what
our
you got
thing.
to say?
He saw where I talked about Paul Heyman being the 6th person, the White Six, and was like, "Damn, this is a fire segment. I need to take this." All the mean comments. This guy's an idiot. Oh man. So my no hate just debate topic is the Bloodline story is overrated.
Why you got to do this to us? Why you do this to?
Because both of you guys are homers for the Bloodline too much, so I gotta make you guys find some flaws in it. So
Hmm.
I'm gonna pick a number between 1 and 10. Marlon, you got mouse surgery, so I'll let you decide what you think it is.
I'm going with 3.
Pierre?
I'm picking 7.
Well, unfortunately, it was 5, so we gotta go. Marlon, you go. You go. You can
Okay.
barely smile. I'll let you pick. I was like, what? I was like, I hope he doesn't pick 7 or whatever. Yeah. Like, all right. That was on me, I guess. Uh,
Okay, I'm gonna go with the Bloodline story is overrated,
Okay,
and you're gonna okay. Um, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
you can go first.
Oh, okay. This dude's ready to defend his child.
Oh, he's ready. Do you guys want to do a minute and a half thing, or do you want to do 1 minute and then 30 and 30?
No, I'm gonna filibuster again.
So
I could
one
do
minute and
one
then
minute.
30. And then 30, 30, like rebuttals.
No, I'll do a minute and a half, but I'm not even gonna need all that time.
All right. I guess we'll do a minute and a half then. Okay. Marlon, you go first.
Okay. Go.
Yep, whenever you're ready.
The Bloodline storyline is overrated because there's no substance to this, and they keep switching people's stances. The characters keep switching their stances within the Bloodline. Think about that time when Jimmy and Jay were taking shots at Roman Reigns, super kicking him, and then they would take shots at each other. You didn't know who to believe for what reason. They were upset for the oddest things. And the one that proves my point the most is when Jimmy turns on Roman and then turns on Jay and then goes back to Roman. People love this story so much because of the people who are in it. They exude so much coolness coming out of them. They're all like mini versions of The Rock or Stone Cold. They're all just they want to be cool. They want to be cool like these people. And the story in itself has so many holes and flaws, like the one I just talked to you about. And also with Solo and Roman. It's like, does he fear Solo or does he not? Is Solo as strong as he thinks he is, or is he not? So this whole story has so many waves of hype, which is great for the business, but I don't know even know if the talent is there to fulfill. It hurts me to say these things. I don't know if the talent is there to fulfill the substance or what, but it's just the cool factor of all these people. San Solo is the reason why people are into this. The way they carry themselves are just dope. But the storyline itself is just so flawed because you don't know what to believe from anybody. And
Time.
all right, that hurt.
I let you go a little extra because I could tell it was breaking your soul. So I was like, I was enjoying myself watching you make yourself almost cry. All right, here you go.
Do I even hear you think of? Or we saw Marlon was struggling. No, the Bloodline storyline isn't overrated. It's one of the best storylines that we've seen in a very long time. If we look at it as just like a TV show or a series in general, like this show been going on for like 4 years. Um, I don't know too many things that there are on fire for straight 4 years, like every episode. You're gonna have some stuff that's gonna suck. You're gonna have some stuff that's gonna be low. You might have some potholes. You might have some loopholes and stuff that just don't make sense, you know. And later on, they might try to come back and fill it in. But from seeing Roman make Jimmy Jay pass out to make Jimmy say I quit for him, and then now he's part of the bloodline to start that. And then we get to them just causing chaos. They win the tag team championships and taking out Dominic and Ray. Then you get Roman, he's taking out Brock, and he becomes double champion. He's clicking the belts together. And like, yeah, we talking about cool factor, but yeah, that definitely is cool. And he facing Brock at WrestleMania or whatever the event that was, and he catches the match in one hand. Come on, man, what's better than that? That is cinema. The Bloodline storyline began the phrase cinema because it's been that. It's been just greatness on another level. You got Paul Heyman, Hall of Famer, one of the best in the world, part of this storyline. Who doesn't want it? Everything is part of this storyline. KO, Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes. He can't even do his own thing because he's part of this storyline. He was trying to finish his story, but his story is in the Bloodline story. We were talking about War Games earlier. Bloodline storyline can't be overrated because we got a whole War Games that's going to be dedicated to the Bloodline. We don't even care about the women's War Games match because we're all invested to the Bloodline War Games match.
Time.
Are you happy, Wade? Tearing this house apart.
Yeah, I mean, I would have needed 5 minutes to talk about why it's overrated. So that's why I didn't want to be in the debate myself. No, I mean, you guys have both did a really good job. Let us know who you think is right or wrong in the comments below. Before you vote, though, I do want to say the MJF CM Punk storyline better. That's in the last 4 years, the same time period as that. Tony Storm and Mariah May better. Judgment Day post Edge better. Brooks Jensen trying to lose his virginity on NXT
Shut up. Shut up
better.
right now. Shut up.
I added that in just
Ridge Holland redemption arc better.
Yo, yeah, I'm not even gonna. That's too far of a joke. I did honestly, I do like that Brooks Jensen storyline with him and Keanu James never kissed a girl and stuff. I like that storyline, but
KCU scandal better.
oh yeah, actually, I kind of did like that too. But NXT's got fire storylines, guys. And if you really want to see a good storyline, check out the King redemption arc. He just had a gentleman's match.
It's Oro Mensah.
It was one of the worst matches I've ever seen.
You know, you gotta go to the barber and get lined up like him.
Dude, I don't think my hair could grow on thick enough. I may have to get it like
They can
drawn.
paint it in. They can paint it in.
Oh man. All right, maybe for Mania I'll do that. Imagine I get that done and then we get press passes and then I'm over there looking like an idiot. That would be awesome.
Hell yeah.
All right, guys. That's our show for today.
Yo, if we get 20 lights, Wade's gonna get the Lester King hookup. So we need 20 lights on this video.
If we do get 20 likes, I will get the Lexus King hookup.
Please, God. Please. Like
the video, subscribe. If you
comment.
really want to see me with that, share the video to your friends and get them to like it. I'm gonna laugh if this is our one video that gets freaking 20 likes. I'm gonna be like, damn it. Bartle and I will have to figure out where I have to go then in SoCal. But all right, guys, that was our show.
You gotta go to Compton. You have to go to Compton.
Yeah, that's fair. That's what I was thinking. Long Beach, maybe? I could probably get it in Long Beach. All
Take a
right.
picture.
We will see you guys later.
Thank you, guys.
Peace.
Peace.